Imagine standing at the edge of a Miocene forest about 10 million years ago. The air is warm and humid. A canopy of tall trees casts shadows over the forest floor, dappled with sunlight. The stillness is broken not by the thunder of hooves, but by a slow, deliberate rustle. Something large is moving, but not with the pace or power of a rhino or elephant. Instead, it moves with strange, almost otherworldly grace. It leans back on its stout hind legs, stretches out long, clawed arms, and gently pulls down a branch full of fresh leaves. This is not a gorilla. It's not a sloth. It's not even a relative of either. This is Chalicotherium goldfussi, a creature so unique in appearance and behavior that for over a century it puzzled scientists and reshaped our understanding of what prehistoric mammals could become. At first glance, Chalicotherium defies categorization. It stood around 2.6 meters tall at the shoulder, about 8.5 feet, and weighed as much as 1.5 metric tons. Its head looked something like a horse, but that's where any familiarity ended. Its forelimbs were abnormally long, almost disproportionate, ending in giant curved claws that resembled those of a ground sloth or even a raptor. But it wasn't built for speed. With shorter hind limbs and an overall top-heavy body, Chalicotherium moved slowly. To protect its claws, it walked on the backs of its fingers, knuckle-walking like a gorilla. And like modern large herbivores, it likely communicated with deep, low-pitched vocalizations, though no direct fossil evidence of its voice survives. Its most striking feature, however, wasn't its claws. It was its teeth, or the lack of them. Adult Chalicotherium individuals had no incisors or canines. These front teeth were shed as the animal matured, leaving only broad, pebble-like molars used for grinding vegetation. This unusual dental arrangement earned it its name, Chalicotherium, or pebble beast. To eat, it relied on thick lips and perhaps even a muscular tongue, plucking leaves, twigs, and bark with a precision that belied its size. But what kind of world did this strange browser inhabit? To understand that, we must journey back in time, roughly 15 to 5 million years ago, into the heart of the Miocene epoch. The Earth then was warmer and wetter than it is today. Vast forests stretched across Europe and Asia, from what is now Germany to Mongolia and India. In these mixed woodlands and subtropical scrub forests, Chalicotherium goldfussi roamed. It preferred the edges of forests, areas where trees offered shelter and food, but open spaces allowed easier movement. The ground was soft, the air thick with moisture, and the trees tall and full of leaves, perfect for a selective browser that reached for its meals rather than grazing. In this lush ecosystem, Chalicotherium would have spent most of its time foraging. Fossil wear patterns on its teeth and the structure of its limbs suggest a very specific feeding strategy. It often sat on its haunches. Callosities on its pelvis suggest this behavior was common, and reached up with its forelimbs to pull branches closer. With its strong arms and claws, it would rake down foliage, then slowly grind it with its rounded molars. Unlike grazers that constantly moved to follow grass, Chalicotherium likely had favored feeding spots, trees or shrubs it visited again and again. But what about its family life? How did such a peculiar creature reproduce and raise young? Like all mammals, Chalicotherium was viviparous. It gave birth to live young. Given its size and lineage, researchers estimate a gestation period of around a year, possibly longer, with a single calf born at a time. That calf, much like a modern rhino or tapir, would have been precocial, able to stand and move shortly after birth. It likely remained with the mother for months, nursing and learning to browse, before eventually becoming independent. There's no evidence to suggest that Chalicotherium lived in large herds. Most fossil sites indicate solitary individuals, or at most small family groups. Males might have competed during mating season, possibly engaging in displays or even combat using their formidable foreclaws. And though Chalicotherium was not a predator, it was far from defenseless.
An adult had few natural enemies. Its sheer size and strength would have deterred most Miocene predators, but if challenged, it could rear up, slash with its powerful arms, or use its mass to push back against attackers. Juveniles, on the other hand, would have been more vulnerable, potential prey for the era's large carnivores, such as bear dogs or saber-toothed cats. But even so, the adult Chalicotherium had not much to fear, as many paleontologists put it. But even the mightiest giants fall, not always to predators, but often to change. Chalicotherium's extinction, like so many others, wasn't sudden. There was no asteroid, no volcanic cataclysm. Instead, it was a slow unraveling. Around 7 to 5 million years ago, global climates began to cool. Forests across Europe and Asia started to shrink, replaced by expanding grasslands and open savannas. The warm, humid environments that Chalicotherium had relied on began to disappear. Its specialized diet, its massive claws, its entire lifestyle were all built for forest browsing. And when the forests faded, so too did Chalicotherium. It vanished from the fossil record by the close of the Miocene epoch. Today, we can only imagine what it would be like if Chalicotherium walked among us. Could it survive in the modern world? The answer is unlikely. Today's forests are fragmented, climate patterns are different. There's less of the stable year-round warmth and dense woodlands that allowed such large, slow-moving browsers to thrive. Even in tropical rainforests like the Amazon or Congo, the ecosystem is far too different. The modern world favors smaller, more adaptable herbivores. Still, in a protected reserve, perhaps deep in a remote forest untouched by human hands, one might imagine a Chalicotherium slowly rising, reaching with its claws for a meal, as it did millions of years ago. And yet, despite its extinction, Chalicotherium continues to fascinate. Its anatomy defied expectations. It blurred the lines between ungulate and sloth, between hoofed mammal and arboreal forager. It was the only known knuckle-walking herbivore among ungulates. Its front claws, originally mistaken by early scientists for pangolin remains, now are icons of evolutionary creativity. Its peculiar loss of front teeth, its browsing posture, and its gorilla-like movements make it one of the strangest mammals ever unearthed. In the grand story of life on Earth, Chalicotherium goldfussi is a reminder of evolution's wild potential. A giant, clawed, leaf-loving beast that ruled the Miocene forests, not with speed or aggression, but with adaptation. It lived for millions of years, watched climates change, and walked through shadowy forests at a time when horses still had 3 toes and great apes were just beginning to take shape.
In that distant world, Chalicotherium was neither a predator nor a dominant grazer, yet it thrived by doing something entirely different. Its survival was built on patience rather than pursuit, on reach rather than speed. While other herbivores evolved sharper teeth for grass or longer legs for open plains, Chalicotherium leaned into a slower, more deliberate lifestyle, shaping its entire body around the simple act of pulling down branches and feeding among the trees. This unusual path highlights a crucial truth about evolution. Success does not follow a single formula. Life experiments endlessly, and sometimes the most unexpected designs endure for astonishing lengths of time. Chalicotherium's story also reminds us that ecosystems are delicate balances, and even the most specialized and successful animals are tied tightly to their environments. For millions of years, the Miocene forests provided everything this creature needed: shelter, food, and stability. But as climates cooled and forests retreated, the world quietly shifted beneath its feet. The same adaptations that once made Chalicotherium so effective became limitations in a changing landscape. Its claws, teeth, and feeding strategies were perfectly suited to dense woodlands, yet poorly matched to expanding grasslands. This slow fade from the fossil record underscores a sobering reality. Extinction does not always come from failure or weakness, but often from change itself. When environments transform faster than life can adapt, even the most extraordinary creatures can vanish.
Despite this, Chalicotherium's legacy remains powerful. Its fossils continue to challenge assumptions and spark curiosity, reminding scientists that ancient mammals were far more diverse and experimental than once believed. It defies the neat categories we often use to understand the past, neither hoofed grazer nor tree dweller, neither fast nor fierce. Instead, it occupied a rare evolutionary middle ground, blending traits in ways that feel almost improbable. In doing so, Chalicotherium expands our understanding of what mammals can become when evolution is given time, stability, and opportunity. Each claw, tooth, and bone tells a story not just of an animal, but of an entire world that no longer exists. In the end, Chalicotherium goldfussi is more than a strange fossil or a curiosity of prehistory. It is a symbol of life's creativity and resilience, a reminder that nature does not aim for perfection, but for possibility. Its slow movements beneath ancient canopies, its quiet dominance of the forest understory, and its eventual disappearance all form part of a much larger narrative, one that continues today. As we look at modern ecosystems facing rapid change, Chalicotherium's story feels especially relevant. It asks us to reflect on how deeply life is shaped by its surroundings, and how easily those connections can be broken. Though it no longer walks the earth, Chalicotherium still speaks to us through stone and time, urging us to appreciate the fragile complexity of life and the countless forms it has taken on this ever-changing planet. Aren't you curious about what these would look like when they were alive? Let's take a look at some visuals created with AI based on fossil studies. That's all for today. I hope this video infotained you well. Make sure to like and subscribe for upcoming videos.